Oh, my pin? Oh yeah, I got that from lazyluca.com. Not sponsored, I'm just want to help promote my friend. They sell these awesome Pokemon pins. I actually have Cubone on me right now. She sent me this too while I bought it. And yeah, you should check it out. She's got the regular form too if you don't like the shiny. At the end of the day, my personal favorite is Cleffa, which is why I'm currently wearing and representing my name of Clef. Anyway, hi everybody, welcome back to some more Debate 'em All. You guys have actually been showing such really great support for this series. I love interacting with you guys. I think it's important for a YouTuber to always have some sort of, like, you know, viewer interaction, and this is a great series for us to do so. Even if I don't reply to your comment or whatever in my video, I still read them. Sometimes I'll like them, sometimes I'll give you a reply. So, you know, it's always you know, if you're interested in just getting involved in the discussion, it's always a good idea to go ahead and leave what you're thinking in the comments. I just like seeing what you have to say. So of course, this is the 5th video. If you haven't seen the other 4 and would like to check them out, then please feel free. There's a link in the description. Go back and watch the other 4. It's not like a series where you have to have seen the last episode to watch this one, which is why it's also good. You know, you can start watching at any time. But, you know, if this is something you like, then feel free. There's 4 other videos. Anyways, let's get into the first point of discussion. So, I literally just said a minute ago you don't have to have seen the last video to understand the next video, but this is a discussion moving forward from the last video. So last video we discussed that trade evolutions shouldn't be the only way to evolve certain Pokemon. You know, for example, Gengar, you should be able to get a Gengar by, I don't know, handing him a Reaper Cloth and leveling him up. Like, just something like that. It doesn't have to be that specifically, but something different than trade evolution being the only way. And we have a comment here saying, trade evolutions should stay. If you have a hard time obtaining any of them, then that's on your end. There are so many ways about it, people are just lazy. There was a reply, if you don't have Wi-Fi, then you can't complete the Pokedex, and if you don't have friends who play, you're trading with strangers. If you have such an issue with that, earn your own money, buy separate consoles to trade with alongside a game. It's not hard. If you worked, you would know that. I've been playing since Red and Blue and never had an issue with it. I just think that's a really, like, this whole thing is a really just dumb statement. I'm sorry, I'm trying to put this nicely. You're gonna tell a 7-year-old kid to just go out and get money? Go work a job just so you can buy another console, another game, and trade with yourself. No, no, absolutely not. That shouldn't be a workaround. There should be something in-game to do. That's just dumb. And somebody actually brought a really good point up to me. In Pokemon Sword and Shield, we have to pay for Nintendo Online now to actually access the internet. So basically, unless you have friends that play Pokemon locally, you're going to be stuck having to pay for Nintendo Online. If the only franchise you play is Pokemon, you're gonna have to pay $20 a year, which isn't bad, just to trade and battle. So you're gonna have to pay to get yourself a Gengar, or any other trade evolution for that matter. And here, I don't think trade evolutions are bad. Like, I don't mind them. I just think there should be another method, because I shouldn't have to buy another Nintendo DS and another copy of the game just to obtain certain Pokemon. Like, that's probably why Pokemon's so successful, because people buy both copies of the game. It's so scummy when you think about it. But hey, this is the franchise that I love and make a living off of. Yeah, I just wanted to put this in the video because I absolutely 100% disagree with that. If you're having a hard time with it, then that's on your end. Yeah, there's a lot of ways nowadays for trade evolutions to work, but having to trade with strangers, you know, if I've got my shiny Machoke and I want a shiny Machamp, I've had people email me saying, hey Callum, can you trade evolve Pokemon with me, because I don't trust anybody else. I don't know anybody else to trade with, and I don't trust them with my shiny Machamp or whatever. And I've actually done it. I think I literally evolved a kid's shiny Gengar for them because I felt bad, you know, like they didn't have anybody else to trade with. I'm like, you know, if I steal this kid's shiny Gengar, then I'm just gonna get shouted at by like millions of people. So yeah, I think they should, because with trade evolutions, you're missing out on so many cool Pokemon as well. You got Gengar, Machamp, Golem, Scizor, Steelix. There's a lot of cool Pokemon that you have to trade for, and it's not cool. Here's my hot take, Callum. No Pokemon should evolve later than level 45 to 50 tops. Hydreigon is one of my favourite Pokemon, but I almost never get to use it in playthroughs because it evolves so damn late. You can't even get it till the post-game, and the very game it debuted in. I have similar issues with Pokemon like Dragonite, Volcarona, Bravery, Bisharp, and Mandibuzz. Okay, this is tricky because you are correct. I think level 55 should be the ultimate cap. But like, think about it. Getsis uses Hydreigon, but at like level 52, he shouldn't have that for another 12 levels. Lance uses Dragonite at like level 49. It's always been very strange, and it always puts like this false, you know, idea in your head. You know, as a kid, you got a Dragonair, you're like, oh my god, Lance has got a level 40 Dragonite, so it must evolve around then. Still nothing. I remember, this is a story from when I was younger. One of my friends told me that Dragonite was a trade evolution. I had a level 53 Dragonair, and I stopped training it because I was told it was a trade evolution. I was heartbroken when I found out years later that I could have had a Dragonite in 2 more levels. I was grinding it for so long. But obviously I didn't have the internet back then, so I didn't know any better. I think either one of the 2 issues has to be fixed. There has to be a reason to keep playing after, I guess, that level. You know, if the game has post-game, like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, the one things I will give those games is that you had a reason to keep playing up to like level 70, level 80, because Red was like level 80. If you wanted to beat Red, then, you know, so you can keep playing. I mean, to be honest, you could beat Red at level 50s. But still, you had a reason to keep playing until you got a Hydreigon, for example, but Hydreigon wasn't even in those games. So if there's a good enough reason to keep playing, like if they add post game, then Pokemon like Hydreigon are perfectly valid. Hydreigon is actually, I think level 64 is a little bit too high for Hydreigon. I think 55 should be the absolute cap, because maybe 50. I think 50 should be the cap. Like, after 50, it's just a drag. You know, I know dragons are meant to be like this rare, super strong species, but like, I've never actually, I don't think I've ever actually evolved a Zweilous into a Hydreigon before, because it's just so late. I don't know why Black and White had such late evolving Pokemon. It was such a strange phenomenon. Like, Scraggy evolved into Scrafty at level 39. Like, that's just obscene. The thing is, they can actually change the evolution of Pokemon, because they've done it with Milotic and stuff like that, so they could definitely make it easier, and I wouldn't be against them doing so. Like X and Y, by the time you were done with that game, you were about in your 70s, maybe 60s, 70s, so you could have a Hydreigon by the very end of the game, but X and Y doesn't have that great of post game to make it worth having a Hydreigon, so it's, I don't know. The games need to get better post-game and a reason to keep training after level 60, or they need to lower the evolution levels. That's just the way I see it. I agree, I guess. Pokemon on its own is doing better than it has before. The fans just don't know what they want. This is something that I know is a little, little spicy. The fans don't know what they want. I think I agree. Fans will be like, oh, this is a feature that I really would like, and then Pokemon do it. And then they're just like, no, not like that. Oh no, why did you change it? Like, for ages, fans were like, oh my god, I'm so bored of gym battles. They had Totem Pokemon. They're like, I miss gym battles. Fans don't know what they want. I think Pokemon should just keep doing what they're doing, because they're killing it. They've got Detective Pikachu. They've got this like proper movie, you know. They've got Pokemon Go doing incredibly well for them. Pokemon's doing just fine. Pokemon is more than just the video games. And I think a lot of people need to remember that the video games probably don't even make them like the most amount of their money. Like, most of their money, I think most of their money comes from Pokemon Go. Fans don't know what they want. I think that's something YouTubers can say as well. That's why I've kind of stopped asking a lot of you guys. Like, when I was growing my channel at first, I would always ask you guys for advice and what you wanted from me. You guys would tell me what you wanted. I would do it, and it would perform terribly. So I think I find from personal experience that fans definitely do not know what they want. You know what really pisses me off? Stone evolutions. Once you evolve a Pokemon with a stone, they stop learning moves. You'd have to wait until you evolve either your base or middle evolution until it's very high, like level 44 or 48. Like, at least give it a reward for waiting that long to evolve the stone evolution. The level it moves, and base and mid evos aren't even fantastic to begin with, so at least give full stone evos level up moves to compensate. Yeah, well, okay, some stone evolutions do. Like, I think, Nidoking. I think Nidoking starts learning moves quite late on, like level 40 plus. But obviously, like, if you evolve a Nidorino at like level 16 into a Nidoking, you're stuck with Poison, Sting, Peck, Leer, and Double Kick until like, I think he learns Thrash at like level 23. I don't understand how they've done it. I don't think I agree with this. Like, I know it's frustrating, but I think the only thing that frustrates me, I mean, maybe there is an NPC that tells you it in the games actually, but I really want more warning in game, I guess, that, because I remember when I was younger, I evolved a Growlithe into Arcanine and I leveled it up and it genuinely didn't learn another move until like level 48 and it was extreme speed. And I'm just like, I've been using this Ember Growlithe or Flame Wheel, I don't remember the move. It was like a really weak fire move. I'm like, I've been using this for so long because it just doesn't learn any other moves. I think they've gotten better with the stone evolutions. I don't, because you have to think about it. You're basically, you're forcing this Pokemon to evolve at will. I think it makes sense from like a lore standpoint. I think it makes a lot of sense. Like they still do, like some Pokemon do learn moves after the fact. And if you get a heart scale, you can like reteach Raichu Thunderbolt and stuff like that. But for the most part, I understand. I just wish they made it a little bit more apparent for like first time players. You know, if I'm gonna evolve my Growlithe into Arcanine, I want to have warning that I should probably level it up to like level 30 so I can learn a decent fire move first and then I can evolve it. Here's my take. We need more branched evolutions. They add so much by doing so little. The last one we got was Cosmog, which is a version exclusive branch. That is not at all what we need. And before that, the last branch we got wasn't adding a new Pokemon to an old line, was in Gen 3. Yeah, it's been a while actually. We're coming up to Generation 8 now. And the last time they added like branch evolutions was Gen 4, right? Because they added Gallade. And then, you know, what other branches are there? Like, I know there's probably branch evolutions in Gen 5 and Gen 6. I really like branch evolutions. Wait, so the last one we got was in Gen 3. Really? So we have the Poliwhirl into Poliwrath and Politoed, Vileplume and Blossom, Slowbro, Slowking. You know, we got the two Exegutors now technically, and the two Marowaks. We've got the Evolutions, they're the king of branched evolutions. We've got the two Raichus, the Hitmons, Beautyfly and Dustox, technically. Gardevoir, Gallade. Yeah, it really has been a while. I really like branched evolutions, like Clamperl into either Huntail or Gorbis. That's pretty cool. Wormadam. Lycanroc, oh yeah, like Rockruff into one of the Lycanroc forms is technically a branched evolution. Yeah, there was a huge gap. They didn't do it in Gen 5 or Gen 6. Completely just skipped those games. Hopefully Gen 8 brings us some new branched evolutions. I'd be down for it. Okay, so I'm reading the comments from my older videos. Like I said, I would for just so you guys know, all the hot takes from this video was from my last video, the YouTube comments. So remember to comment on YouTube. I might make some tweets, might make some Instagram posts. I want to try and use all my social media to get like a variety of opinions from you guys so the series doesn't get too stale. But going back 2 videos ago, we spoke about how Pokemon doesn't need a story. Now, I wanted to clarify, of course Pokemon needs a story, but it doesn't need to be something super intense like Black and White. Like I was more referring to how the Kanto games did just fine. They had a story going on, but it was super basic and it wasn't anything too intense and too dialogue heavy. You were free to do what you wanted for the most part. I think that's kind of the point that I failed to get across, and I just wanted to rehash that. I personally, still to this day, think they don't need an insane story like Sinnoh. I mean, as much as I do enjoy them. Okay, I'm gonna read this comment. I couldn't imagine playing with no story. I love RPGs, and the story and world building is just something you associate with them all. When I played in Yellow, I honestly felt bored and stopped playing multiple times because of it, but to each their own. I mean, fair enough. I personally am not a big fan of RPGs, so that's probably where it's coming from. Even though Pokemon is my favorite game of all time, and that's an RPG, I'm not a fan of traditional RPGs. I don't think I think Pokemon has plenty of world building, you know, with the Pokedex and like all the people around it. I just don't think it needs like a super over the top intense story that they've been trying to do since Generation like 3 onwards, you know? Like, I'm not against it by any stretch of the imagination. I just want them to maybe cut back on the dialogue a bit. There's a lot of dialogue. Because even like Breath of the Wild had a story. It's just you could go off and do your own thing while that story was going on. I want I want that. I don't want... I like Pokemon games like Sun and Moon, they literally had like a flag on the bottom screen being like, this is where you go next. You know, like, I'm not saying I need an open world Pokemon game. I just want a Pokemon game with a little bit of leeway, you know? So I don't have to follow a full-on story, play-by-play, whatever. Thanks so much for watching. Debate them all. I really appreciate you guys supporting this series. Go ahead and drop a like on it if you enjoyed. I've just always wanted a series where I can just sit down and chat about Pokemon. Hopefully it doesn't get too stale. When it does, let me know, and we'll just wrap it up. You know, I don't want to keep this series going on forever if it's going to get boring. But I hope you enjoyed. Let me know some of your hot takes in the comments. Hot takes are like opinions you have that might, I guess, go against somebody else's opinion. Basically an unpopular opinion. The one I keep telling you guys, my unpopular opinion, is that I don't think Heart Gold and Soul Silver are that great. But that's just me. That's just me against the world there. Thanks again for watching. I love you. I'll see you later.